All right, guys, Unit 2 final exam review we're going to work on today. So, again, looking at your agenda, I'm just going to kind of go through a few things that I think are kind of important. First of all, if you have not done any of those practice sets for Unit 1, you're doing it wrong. If you have done at least one of those practice sets for Unit 1, you're doing it right. All right, so make sure that we go back to Unit 1, do some of that work. In fact, today might be a good idea to do the other practice sets for Unit 1 prior to getting into Unit 2. All right, so again, Unit 2, kind of similar as far as yesterday. I mean, it's going to make up about 25% of the exam. Again, we're going to go through 4 units this week. And I tried when I made the exam, I tried to you kind of make it sort of balanced as far as how many questions from each unit I put on there. So you can probably expect again about 25% of the test to come from Unit 2. All right, so as far as the topics go, just kind of looking at the agenda here, we covered some pretty big things here. Ecosystems, just kind of an introduction to those. There's a big thing about of notes on this. Things like biotic and abiotic factors, symbiosis. You should know the different types of symbiosis. Commensalism, mutualism, parasitism, predation, and competition. If I give you examples of those, you should be able to tell me, which one it is, what type of symbiosis it is. As far as predation goes, we should be able to interpret a predator-prey graph. If you see one, you should be able to tell me which one's the predator, which one's the prey. Competition, some pretty specific things that we talked about with that. Gauss's experiment, that was a good example of competitive exclusion, so we should know what that is. Inter and intra-specific, that's either competition between members of the same species or competition between members of different species. So know which one is which. Resource partitioning, different ways that organisms can share resources so that competitive exclusion doesn't happen. And then we got into some basic stuff: producers and consumers. You should know the roles of producers, the roles of consumers. Photosynthesis and cellular respiration. We should know those equations. We should know what the products are of photosynthesis, products of respiration. I gave you guys that picture of the leaf and the mouse, right? Showing you the different equations. So make sure we look over that. Just different types of consumers, herbivores, omnivores, carnivores, detritivores, scavengers, and decomposers. I think I gave you a matching question on a quiz about that. Uh, Food chains, food webs, energy flow, 10% rule, all that type of stuff. That was just one topic that we covered. All right, then we got into biogeochemical cycles. You've got good notes. There's good videos on carbon, water, and nitrogen. So I'm going to suggest that you look over this stuff. I guarantee you there will be some questions about those cycles on this test. So you might want to go back and brush up on the vocabulary, rewatch the videos, whatever you need to do. And then finally, we got into population ecology. Different characteristics of populations, limiting factors, density dependent, density independent, a lot of graphs, exponential growth curves, logistic growth curves. Make sure you know the difference between the two. Make sure we can, for example, when you look at a logistic curve, you can tell me what the carrying capacity is. When's the population growing fast? When is it slowing down? That type of thing. But there's a lot of graphing with the population stuff. All right, just like yesterday, practice sets. There are 3 of them for this unit, and the reason why there's 3 is because there's a lot of material from Unit 2. I think Unit 2 is probably the biggest unit that we covered. I think that and Unit 4, all right, were probably the biggest ones. So I've got 3 practice sets here for you. All right, so make sure you kind of at least do one today. Maybe do them all today if you have a chance to. PowerPoint slides. This link here is a link to all the notes for Unit 2, and there's a lot of them. So it might take a minute or two to load that file, but they're all there. And of course, all my lecture videos that are over specific topics. So, for example, if you didn't quite understand the nitrogen cycle and you want to review that, click on that link. That's my video of my lecture on the nitrogen cycle. All right, guys, have a good day. Again, I will see most of you this week. Actually, tomorrow, Thursday and Friday, I'll see you guys. So take care. Again, if you're not going to be in school, make sure you check the agenda the next couple of days. All right, guys, take care. Have a good day. See some of you tomorrow.